So we are really, really blessed today to have a phenomenal presenter with us, somebody who's coming at the business world perhaps from an angle that not a lot of folks do. I've known Kevin Suboski now for, I would say, at least 10 years, maybe just a little bit longer. Kevin has really found a sweet spot in his business working with entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are different than business people. So let's put our hands together and welcome Kevin Suboski from the Fastest Route.
Can everybody see? I can't see, so I don't know what's going on. I can everybody see my presentation?
I can see you clearly. You've popped up in front of us, but what's behind you is join Zoom meeting. So you've got the wrong, there you go. Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for that introduction, Steve. It's been a great trip with you. You've been instrumental in a lot of the best things that progressed my life and this focus that I'm on. I think you get some pretty good credit for. My thing today is art of entrepreneurial leadership. It's what I do. The title of this talk is I think of it as retiring the zombie operating system. That'll make more sense as we go through this. But my gig is all about entrepreneurship, which, as Steve said, thank you, Steve, is different. As people equate the two, which really does themselves disservice because it's a very different domain of action. And I find most people that are doing entrepreneurship are suffering because they're trying to solve an entrepreneurship problem with business tools, and then they get frustrated when it doesn't work. And so my objective today is to help you see the world more powerfully and make better decisions, design more effective action, and produce lockstep followers. And we all are in this game where we're trying to succeed in business by bringing value. And what we're doing is we're going out in the world and saying, hey, I see this thing, come join me. And we get frustrated when they don't come and join us. And so I want to show you a way to think about what's going on in the world and show you an opening about how you can do that much better. And so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to first share my interpretation of what's happening in the world today, because it's a peculiar time right now. And the more that you can understand why we're in this place, the better you can be at figuring out how to move yourself forward. I want to show you a better way. There's a common sense notion about how to do business and how to do life that is failing us. It's more and more failing us, and we all feel it. We all feel it when other people do that to us. We're told to do it this way, and I think that there's a better way. And I want to share five top reinterpretations. There's five notions that we are trained to think a certain way. And I want to share with you a way to think differently. And ultimately, I have called my call to action for you guys is let's lead together. There's a better place. And fortunately, Steve has sort of leading the way and showing us a way. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I mean by that. But let's make a bigger impact as the Caerusnet community. So what's happening? What's happening is what I'm calling the zombie operating system. And this really came to light during and after the pandemic. But we live in a time when the powers that be, the corporations, government, the way that we think about leading is what I call the zombie operating system. And a zombie operating system is organized around taking energy, taking the life force of human beings to turn it into profit without regard for the consequence to those people. And so we've lost that. And so I see more and more people walking around with the life drained out of them. And the world that we live in is doing that. And so it's produced widespread suffering and dissatisfaction. And there are four broad megatrends that I want to share with you briefly because it's a different perspective of what's going on. And part of what's producing this zombie operating system is leadership models built on extraction. It's where they came from. It's our common sense about what leadership is. And so this widespread suffering, our bodies are tuned to the environment we lived in 20,000 years ago. That is what our biology is built to. We have not evolved to adapt to the current situation that we're living in. And we all feel it. We all feel that it doesn't feel good. The way we're being treated doesn't feel good. And what we're not aware of is that our structure of being a human being is built for a certain kind of environment, and a lot of that has gone away. And that's why we have so much widespread suffering and depression and anxiety, and a lot of us just really kind of worried about the future. The industrial era thinking, so industrial revolution formed the background of what it means to be successful, and it has us treat human beings like machines. And to format, I think some of the things that Steve does brilliantly is he doesn't treat any of us like machines, and we all feel it, and that's why we're here. Burnout and mistrust that people have. We lack trust in the environment. We lack in the institutions. We lack trust in each other. We're all sort of burned out on a lot of things. Those are signals of the misfit, where our bodies are in an environment that isn't giving us what we need to survive. And we don't see it because it feels normal. We're just trying to cope with the current situation. We can't see it. And my job today is to help you see that a little bit. Now, so not only do we have this sort of background of like these broad trends, I think most of us have this sense of like something's not right. Kind of it's a shitty time in history to a lot. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are, we are all suffering in some degree in terms of lack of faith in institutions, and we're all sort of like angry with each other and pissed off. And so what I want to share with you are these four broad, big, global, multi-decade trends where we are in the trough. Well, I want to share this with you because part of what people feel like is that we're heading to the cliff. They're going off a cliff. And so there's good news and bad news. The good news is we're going to come out of this. Each of these cycles we are at the trough of, and we're going to come out the other side. The bad news is on all four of these cycles, we're at a trough where the world turns to shit. And so when you look at that, so the mental models, the spiral dynamics, how we know reality are, we have a general sense that we share about how the world works, and that evolves over time. And we're in the middle of shifting from one to the other, and that creates dissonance. There's a model that talks about cultural evolution, and we're in the fourth turning of that. I'm giving you these so you can do some research if you're interested. And test for yourself. The American Empire declining, Ray Dalio's big cycle of empires. And then, of course, we have a huge technology disruption that we're in the difficult times of AI. What's it going to do to the world? And so we're all in a trough of these. And what's consistent about all of these, which is fascinating, if you look, you can do the research, talk to your favorite AI tool. They all create an opportunity for those who are most human-centered. Each of these models, we're in a trough where we've sucked the humanity out of the models. And we're now really, and so one of the things is I was doing research on these, I'm asking ChatGPT, okay, so given this is the reality of the situation today, what are the challenges that are a threat to me professionally and personally, and what are the opportunities? Because in any time, there are those people that are going to do well. And so how can I maximize, minimize the risk to myself and maximize pursuing the opportunities? And a key thing is being the person that's more human-centered because we crave it. We need it, we feel it. And so I want to talk about what that means and where that comes from. And so we're living in this long-term time where leadership equals extraction. If you listen to what they're teaching when they're teaching leadership, fundamental to that model is how do you get somebody to do something for your sake? It's the frame of reference in all the leadership models of all these tool sets. And it's at the heart of what's going on because leadership is about extracting energy from people through trickery, through whatever means necessary. And mostly we have positional power. So a lot of the leadership models come from big corporations. And in those big corporations, they have positional power and they're coercive. And that means as the leader of the company, part of what they use is they produce consequences and they can fire you. And they use those tools to coerce followership out of people. Now, I work with entrepreneurs and part of the reason I'm talking to you guys the way I am is like, so the stuff that I teach entrepreneurs how to succeed in the game that they're in. And it's a very different game. They don't have positional power. Um, and so entrepreneurial leadership is a fundamentally different phenomenon. And there's a huge market opening. And when I work with entrepreneurs, and pay attention to the entrepreneurs that are wildly successful, they're very human centered and they do all the things that I'm going to talk to you about. Um, Entrepreneurs do not have any positional power. They can't order anybody to do anything. And even hiring people, it's a very weak position. You know, a lot of times entrepreneurs, when they're hiring people, it's difficult to hire people. The bigger companies, you know, have greater power there. Entrepreneurs only have social power. The only way they can get you to buy is by being of service, by contributing. And so to the degree, now a lot of entrepreneurs are don't really they're not aware of this. We go by the same script as business. And so my biggest thing is I see entrepreneurs executing this big corporate business orientation where you're tricking people into making money. Those guys suffer. The people who are great are the ones that are human centered, really drive their social power. It's about seduction. It's not coercion. It's about showing people how you can help them for their sake, being that human centered person without positional power. Now, I want to share, you know, what it means to be human centered. And this is a long, complex story, and I have 9 minutes left or so. And so we don't have time. I'm going to share my top five with you, and that's cherish, be authentic, design around you, question the experts, and become irreplaceable. These are things that as an entrepreneur, this is what produces success. And the cool thing is, we live in a reality that I don't care what job you're in. If you use these tools, if you shift yourself in this direction, you will do better in the world today. And so, the first thing, if there's one thing, pay attention, write this down. This is the key to the kingdom. To cherish. We don't do this anymore. To hold another person's concerns as though they were your own. We all know we need to care, whatever that means. And we can care emotionally, like I can have a feeling of care for you. But what cherish is it's an active role of listening, understanding somebody else's concerns, and then hold them as your own. Doesn't mean do what they tell you to do. That it's not mean what it is, but to be able to consider it and remember it and use it in your decision. And so when you are in a position where you're holding someone's concerns, they love that. And if you think about that, when have you been in the time when somebody's working with you and you can tell that not only do they care, but they're actually considering your concerns? They know your concerns. How many people listen to you enough to understand what your concerns are? They're just telling you what they're selling. And so if you internalize this, all the rest of this follows. This is something I've been working on for a long time in terms of like it becoming a natural state. And I want you all to think of Steve. So when you talk to Steve, Steve is consistently cherishing you. And this is why a lot of us are drawn to this environment. Be authentic. We have been trained to create a persona, to be what someone else wants us to be. And it's bullshit. It doesn't work anymore. It sucks for all of us. All of us see somebody playing a role and we don't like it. It doesn't fit. We have tools in our biology that recognizes when somebody's playing a role and we don't like it anymore. It used to work. It doesn't work as much anymore. So be yourself. It attracts and keeps the best fit people around you. I see people playing a role and then they're frustrated because they don't like the people around them. It's uncomfortable. Well, those people around them are attracted to the person you were pretending to be. And so one of the things that happens is the more authentic you are, and think Steve, the more authentic you are, the more you're attracting the people who are a fit for you. And all of a sudden you end up to this, years later, you're surrounded by people you love. How great is that? That's good for the biology. That's good for who we are. It produces a great life. Be vulnerable. We're all like trying to present an image that we're perfect and we're awesome. It's like the truth is we're not. We suck at some stuff and it's okay. Be human because it gives other people the permission to do the same. When we see somebody be vulnerable, it's like my heart goes out to them and we're like, thank you. I wish I could do that. And we all want to do that. Being real is far more attractive than being designed. And give yourself grace. Forgive yourself. When you give yourself grace, other people will give you grace as well. Design your business and your career around you. So, if you talk to most business coaches, what they're going to tell you, they're going to tell you how to design a business. You find a market out there, a target market out there with pain, and then you become what they need you to be. It's bullshit. It's terrible. This is horrible. Do not do that. What you need to do for your career and for your business is figure out who you are. The truth is, we don't know anymore. We don't really look at it. We're trying so hard to be somebody else. We've lost track or never really did the inquiry. Do the inquiry, figure out who you are. Surround yourself with people you love. That's the key. Who's your target market? Bullshit. I hate that language. Target market. It's like that's so mechanical. People you love, your dream customers. Surround yourself with people you love. Build around your natural strengths. What are you good at? We all have superpowers. If your business isn't designed around your superpower, you're in the wrong game. And then solve problems you genuinely care about. If you have passion, if you have energy, if you have a purpose and meaning in what you're doing, people want more of you. And remember, if you can do this, if you build a career around who you are, that alignment creates stamina. The truth is, there's a lot of stuff that we do that we don't like to do. And guess what gets you through all of that? That that purpose and that stamina creates excellence. Question the experts. The common wisdom today comes from the zombie operating system. Most business advice was built for billion-dollar businesses that need 30% of the market, were venture funded, that are traded on the stock exchange. They're built for efficiency and scale. That model, that mental image of how to run a business does not work for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are inventing offers. The early small companies, that stuff destroys them. You operate without positional power. If somebody's giving you an advice that feels icky, interrogate the model because your intuition shows you that ickiness is like, this isn't good for humans. And it's like, don't buy that shit. Don't do that. Be a good human. Seek better questions, not rigid answers. Number 5, be irreplaceable. The way to build a great business is be valuable. Be as valuable as you can be. Dedicate yourself to how to make a difference in people's lives. Produce meaningful change. Organize your life around being valuable and get great at being valuable, not an emotion hacks. We're getting really good at hacking people's emotions to make them make decisions that don't serve them. Instead, be really good at triggering their emotion because you're good for them. If you want to make money, be valuable, right? Value creates money. If you want to make a lot of money, become very valuable. That's the key. So I've been saying Steve is human-centered. It's why I'm here. It's why a lot of us are here. It's what we feel that's different about this. There are other zombie operating system kinds of referral groups that we don't really love. We all feel it. It's why we're here. So let's lean in. Let's all do this. Let's be the model of this in the world. And let's take it out there and let's show the way because this matters. This stuff matters. It produces better lives. My thing is about, live better. And, I sound like a preacher sometimes. It sounds like I'm presenting the moral answer, but it isn't. I want you to make a shit ton of money. And the best way to make a shit ton of money and leave the best life is be the best leader that you can be. Now, we're all leaders, whether we're in this room, we're all leaders, whether we're entrepreneurs or not. Lead in the way that works for you, lead in a way that feels right, and lead in a way that brings you back to life. And that's what I'm about. If this resonates for you and you want more information, click on, scan this image. Can everybody see it? I don't even know.
Yep, and I'll be sure it's included in the recap email too.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do with that, I'm not going to add you to an email list. There is going to be a thing if you want to be on my email list, I'm going to give you a link. So that what this is going to do is just going to send me an email telling me you want some information. I'm going to send you a list of links for more data. I love creating content. Steve, keep getting compliments from Steve. So I'm going to create a list of content that you can get if this resonates for you and you want to learn more.
Let's first off, let's put our hands together for an incredibly dynamic presentation. Kevin Suboski giving us the truth that we all felt, but maybe didn't know how to articulate the way that Kevin could articulate. And what a great top 5 that you presented to us as well, Kevin. We do have an opportunity for a quick question or comment. Would love to hear from anybody in the audience. What's on your mind when it comes to Kevin Suboski? And don't be shy. First person to unmute and talk wins. Ask your question to Kevin.
Honesty. He cuts to the point, gets to the point.
Yeah, excellent presentation, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin?
Are you gonna be there at Joe Cool's tonight?
I will not, sadly.
Yeah, Kevin unfortunately already had a prior arrangement when this was booked that he couldn't be at the Afterglow, but everybody else will. He'll be there in spirit. Okay, well, listen, if there aren't any extra comments or questions for Kevin, I think it's just because your wheels are spinning so much right now, you don't know how to articulate the questions. With that being said, Kevin's contact information is going to be in the recap email. He's very approachable, 100% engaged when you connect with him, and has also built a phenomenal library of courses that you can take at your own pace as well, too. So let's put our hands together one more time for Kevin Suboski. Hey, I'm going to give us a 3-minute intermission. I know some of you have coffees to fill and maybe something to empty after being here for a long time. But go ahead and click on when we're done with this. Take a 3-minute intermission, and then when you come back, click on where it says live networking session number 2. We're going to do a couple breakout rooms. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you there in 3 minutes, everybody. Great job, Kevin.